It's I've got I think, yeah, no, it's my trainer domain. I haven't got it set up right, but it's fine. Okay then. So the case study. So quick intro for me. I'm Katie. I am, if you need on social media, I'm on Instagram and Twitter. I'm Miss K Wells. If you need anything else, I am a I was a certified Google trainer from February 2020, and I was in the innovator cohort this summer. It was the strange first online one, so we were VIA 20. So yeah, I've been a trainer for a year before that. Ooh, someone else coming in. Hi, Mary. We're all good. So yeah, just if that's my details, Mary, if you need me for anything, I'm Miss K Wells online. I am by trade, I am a primary geography teacher. I teach in a little school near Oxford. I 3 years ago, I returned from teaching in Singapore. So I was teaching internationally before that. So I've just come back, and yeah, I'm now in Oxford in the UK. Being a trainer, I've got some tips and tricks to start off with. I'm sure if you've looked at the trainer application form, like what most people do is they copy the questions over to a Google document, and everyone says make sure you do your first responses to your your questions all in a Google document, because then it's you can see what you're doing. It spell checks them all correctly, and if you've got things like Grammarly on as well, it makes sure that they all make sense before you actually hand it in. And then another tip that was said to me was share it with a friend or someone to look over before you actually hand it in as well. You can share that with trainers or anyone like us. We are happy enough to look over them and have a look. One of the things that lots of people trip up on is the whole making your links viewable. You have to obviously include links to resources that you put in, and everyone just says just make sure they are viewable by anyone. So go on your incognito window and just check that they are that people can see them. And yeah, if it says to include a link, make sure you do include a link. These slides will be sent out, so you'll get a copy of these, and then you can look back at them all and anything. So the best place to start with your case study is to think about a training that you have led or that you've been to before, and then start thinking about what made it good. Did they give out materials, and what feedback was given or was required from you when you were participating? We all know we've been to training that has not been marvelous, and we sometimes think, oh, if I was doing this, I'd do it this way. So they're the things that if you think about them, put them into your training session that you do to use as your case study. You can, yeah, just come up with anything, because then my next question is your case study, what do you want to do it on? You can do it on anything as long as it's a Google tool. So I don't know if you've got this far in your application and you've thought about what you're going to do your presentation on, your case study on. Mine was on forms, and it was yeah, teaching teachers how to use their forms to collect data from students. So yeah, we did that. I've heard about other people doing them on slides. You can make it as easy or as technical as you want to, because obviously it's your case study. It's whoever you're presenting it to, which could be anyone. So yeah, you can do your case study on whoever, on whatever topic you want, just as long as it is Google. Not anything like Moat or Read Write or something that interacts with Google. Just make sure that it is Docs, Jamboard, Forms, Slides, or something like that. Meet even. So we've got some examples of the questions. These are the questions that I copied from the application. So the first one, where obviously it's like, please describe the session. It's almost like thinking back to your teacher training, and when it says, please describe the single training for your case study, how did you demonstrate how to use the tool? How did you show attendees effective and efficient ways of integrating this tool in the classroom? So think of it, how you can make it high quality, plan it beforehand. And yeah, I just spoke about how I spoke clearly. I aimed it at the different levels. I wanted what I wanted to show them, and what I wanted them to ultimately get from the session. And I spoke about how I used the slides to demonstrate it, so that they had something at the end as well. What action did you take to engage the adult learners in this training? And then how did you differentiate it? Again, so it's really like, yeah, teacher training when they're on about how did you differentiate it? How did you engage them? So you can talk about how you might have different tasks for different abilities. You might start off with the easy one. You might get them to work in pairs or something like that, just how you're going to engage them. Provide links to at least one training material that you have created for the training. So that's where you put in your slideshow that you might include with it. And that is the really important bit of make sure that that is viewable, yeah, by anyone. So when you're sharing it, make sure you've got it on that setting that anyone can view the link. And then we've got link to the feedback you received. Well, the same question I've got in there twice. Links to at least one training session. Oh, training material that you created. Yeah, so like the first one could be like the slides, whereas the second one might be a doc or something that you create to go along with it. Or if you use it with mine was on forms, so I think I used a demo form, as I said. Link to feedback that you received after the training. So I've got some links to some feedback forms, because some of the questions that I got in for this session was about what should people include on their feedback forms. So I've got some examples of that. And after reviewing the feedback, how would you improve your training? So that's just to get you to reflect on it and see, come up with something that you would change slightly, maybe for the next time, so that they can see that you can reflect on your practice. So feedback. These are two examples that we've created and shared before about feedback. What everyone says about feedback is get some valuable feedback, make it qualitative. It's not about how many you get back. I think you have to get back at least 5, because there should be 5 people in your training session. So 5, but just, yeah, make sure that it's lockable. It's locked, that one, it's not editable. I'll change those links before I send this out. But they are 2 example forms that have been created by Louise to demo what sorts of things should be included on them. You can see if there's another link that I can open up. But what most people do with their feedback forms is they sort of have a first section to it that's very on a scale of 1 to 10 or 1 to 5, how valuable did you find the session, and things like that. And then so they have like 2 or 3 questions like that, and then it goes into a more in-depth what would you like to see, how could we have made it better. So the open-ended questions come later on, because then that's obviously something that you can then work with when you're on that last question where it's about reflecting on your practice. If you get some good data in there, then that gives you something to think about, that you can then see. Let's see, here are the other ones. Feedback example. Yes, these ones are the ones that work. So yeah, that's fine. I'm going to flick over. Yeah, it should have flicked over now, or it will be in the process of flicking over. There we go. Yeah, I was trying to figure it out. So yeah, this one that was based on autocrat. But you can see we've got a scale to start off with, and then we've got some, he's planned this to have an adjective that describes the facilitator, and then any feedback in particular about the webinar there. So I'll swap the links on number 2 for number 1, because the number 2 ones seem to work, but the first ones don't. So I'll figure that out. Not sure what's happened there. So yeah, as we said, you want to make those forms, get some good qualitative feedback from them so that you have something to go on. Another question that was sent in when people signed up was, do you have any recommendations for what your case study should be on? As I said, as long as it's Google based and you're training someone to do something on them, then that would be perfect. You're going the right way. How many people should attend the training session? So they said 5 at least. How will becoming a Google trainee help me become a better teacher? Well, hopefully it helps boost your confidence. And when I became a trainer, it opened up this world of the community. You get added to all sorts of different Google groups, and we call that the PLN. So your personal learning network, or sometimes it's PLF, so your personal learning family. And it's just an awesome group of people that you can fire questions at. How can I do this? Anyone got any ideas about that? And there are some trainer perks that you do get as well when you become a Google trainer. They're just different third-party tools that give you different accesses to different things, but you get contacted about them all, and there's a group that you join, as I said. We've obviously had recently people having to do their training sessions virtually. That doesn't make a difference. We've probably all had to do lots online over the last year. So yeah, it still counts if it is a training session that you do virtually. So don't worry about that. Or things like this that we do when we're on GlobalGEG or Global UK or GEG UK. There's opportunities like that if you did want to come and do a virtual online presentation, we can fix you up with opportunities to do that. And then obviously, yeah, for the skills assessment, which is part of the trainer, make sure you do that. I kind of forgot about that and then ended up having to do it last minute because I didn't really realize there was another test thing that I had to do. And yeah, everything that you link that gets submitted about the trainer feedback and the you just include in your case study. So yeah, they were the questions that were sent in. There's about 10 minutes left. So if anyone's got any other questions or if you want to discuss things, I'm very happy to include them and chat about them. So yeah, what have we got? We're here all the time, yeah. Always going. My GlobalGEG calendar is just like crazy. Yeah. Yeah. I bet. Oh, well done you. I wouldn't be able to do it in French. Hmm. Yeah, no, if you repeat it, I imagine that'll be fine, like, because you're doing the same session. So even though it might be spread out, it would be fine. Yeah. 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 So if yeah, I would use the same session. So if you're doing it on like slides, so if you have to repeat it so that you get more feedback, then yeah, because obviously it's focusing on one case study. Hmm. Oh no, no. Yeah. Did you say you're in Jordan? Have you who Georgina is yeah. Ah, yeah, I was going to say I was in a innovator group with Georgina, and she was telling us, yeah, because Jordan seemed to, they go out of lockdown and then they come back into lockdown, and then she was like, "Oh, we're going back into lockdown today," and yeah, yeah. Yeah, but if they didn't have the skills beforehand, then you would have been inspiring because you've obviously taught them something. Like, you may not have found it because you're like, "Oh, I know how to do this," but, like, other people who don't would be like, "Wow." Yeah, yeah. Mm, yeah, yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm, mm. That's, yeah, that's it. But yeah, they're my slides. Um, but I think, yeah, it is. I don't. It's 9:40, so I think we have to hop back into the other one. Otherwise, there's the link if anyone needs it. So see you on the other side. Thanks.